morning to you and welcome to Newswatch. Tonight, I do hope your weekend has started off well from wherever you're watching this broadcast. My name is Sammy Adika and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Mureithi. Welcome to the bulletin. President William Ruto has reaffirmed his government's commitment to fulfilling its development agenda. Speaking in Kilifi County, the head of state pledged to ensure that the county enhances its food production to tackle food insecurity that has been biting the region. And as Grace Ahati reports, President William Ruto says his government has set aside over 900 million Kenya shillings in establishing the Baricho Water Project, which has been officially launched earlier in the day.
With the Gen Z protests having slowed down, President William Ruto has reignited his focus on development initiatives, making his second stop at the coastal region. On Friday, the president embarked on a tour of Kilifi County, where he unveiled a series of development projects in the region, including the 900 million shillings Baricho Water Floods Protection Works project. And during his visit to Kakuyuni area, President Ruto inaugurated the second Baricho Kakuyuni Water Supply Project that is expected to supply more than 40 liters of water in Malindi, Watamu, Kilifi and Gongoni in a day.
Tumeweka pia mfereji mkubwa sasa imeenda mpaka Kakuyuni. Sasa mfereji hiyo pia tunataka kwenda kuifungua kwa sababu ndio maji ipatikane kwa wingi Malindi, ipatikane maji kwa wingi Magarini, ipatikane maji hadi Mombasa. Kwa sababu hiyo ndio mpango yetu ya kuhakikisha kwamba kuna maji ya matumizi nyumbani na vile vile tukiashiria na kupanga vile tutawapatia maji pia ya mambo ya irrigation.
In his address, President Ruto also underscored the pressing need to tackle food insecurity in Kilifi County, where he reiterated his government's commitment towards enhancing food production in the region.
Hii Kilifi lazima tuzalishe chakula ya kutosha. Kilifi itawacha kuwa na sifa ya njaa.
President Ruto has also pledged support for healthcare services in the region by enhancing the Linda Mama program, a free maternity project launched by former President Uhuru Kenyatta in 2016.
Mpango ya ile ya Linda Mama sasa tumeinua. Badala ya kulipwa shilingi 4,000 mama akienda pale, tumeongeza sasa wamama watakuwa wanalipiwa shilingi 10,000 katika kwenda kupata mtoto. Na hiyo itakuwa inalipwa na serikali ya Kenya. Kila mama ataenda hospitali, atashughulikiwa na ataenda nyumbani bila ya kuulizwa pesa yoyote.
Reporting from Newswatch, I'm Grace Ahati.
Well, now on matters politics, President William Ruto has defended the move to include politicians from the opposition in his cabinet, saying it is the right way to bring the nation together in order to achieve development in an effort to ensure inclusive prosperity for all. Speaking during his tour in Kilifi County, the head of state has expressed optimism in the nominated CS, saying if approved after the vetting process, they will ensure, or rather he has no doubt that they will do due diligence in serving the people of Kenya in their respective dockets. Our very own Dolly Mwirigi Mbuvi with the report.
In an apparent move to get back his way after days of being the punching bag of the opposition, President William Ruto has now lined up some tour across key regions across the country as he markets his new cabinet nominees under the broader government of national unity.
Sasa ni wakati mwafaka wa kuungana, kufanya kazi pamoja, kuwaunganisha wananchi wa taifa letu la Kenya. Ndio sababu mimi juzi nimeunda serikali ya kuunganisha Wakenya. Nikasema Wakenya wote waungane ndani ya serikali ya taifa letu la Kenya.
President William Ruto says his decision to form a broad-based government is aimed at rallying Kenyans from across the political divides. Speaking during an inspection tour of development programs in Kilifi County on Friday, Ruto said all-inclusive government would leave no one behind following his nomination of ODM leaders into his new cabinet. Notable among them, former Mombasa Governor Ali Hassan Joho and Salim Mvurya, who makes a cabinet comeback.
Mumempatia ruhusa Ali Hassan Joho afanye kazi na mimi kama waziri wa taifa letu la Kenya. Mumenipatia Salim Mvurya asimamie mambo ya biashara na investment katika taifa letu la Kenya. Hawa wangwana wawili kutoka Pwani, mimi niko na imani kwao. Huyu Salim Mvurya alisimamia sekta hii ya uchumi samawati kwa ustadi mkubwa. Mimi naelewa na najua ya kwamba Joho atakuja kufanya hivyo hivyo. Pia sasa nimempatia huyu Salim Mvurya majukumu ya kusimamia mambo ya biashara, mambo ya industrialization ama viwanda, na mambo ya investment katika taifa letu la Kenya. Kazi yake muhimu ni kuhakikisha kwamba Dongo Kundu inafanya kazi.
Joho was one of the main critics of Ruto, who damaged his character during the 2022 presidential campaign, pushing for Raila's presidency, claiming that Kenyans were being misled by the bottom-up economic model.
Kama kuna mtu ako na namba ya William Ruto, arekodi hii video mtumie. Maisha yangu tangu nizaliwe sijawahi kuona mtu muongo, mfisadi, baradhuli, dhabdhabina kama William Samoei Ruto.
And it's now clear that Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua may have fallen into a trap he set himself with the aim of preventing ODM leader Raila Odinga from working with President Ruto and making strategies or handshake to work with the government.
Hiyo ikulu nimeweka mitego kila kona, kila pale, kila bahali nimeweka na niko na watu wakunipigia simu wakionekana tu karibu.
However, speaking today in Laikipia County, Deputy President has appealed to Kenyans to remain united and embrace President William Ruto's cabinet changes, terming them a win for the nation. Gachagua said that the reconstruction of the cabinet will increase efficiency and effectiveness, castigating those trying to divide Kenyans based on winner and loser notions. President Ruto's move to appoint leaders from the opposition, Hassan Joho, Wycliffe Oparanya, John Mbadi and Opiyo Wandayi, especially considering that they strongly opposed him, is a clear sign that politics has no permanent enemy.
I've seen many people, all sorts of analysts and newspaper people and commentators commenting about gains and losses. Which region got what, which one lost, which one didn't, who is strong, who is not. I think the whole thing is a win for the people of Kenya. And for us as a region, we are very happy that Mercy adds our numbers. And we are very proud of our performance from a daughter of this region and her commitment to public service and assisting the president in the management of the affairs of this country.
Dolly Mwirigi for Hope TV.
Well, many thanks, Dolly Mwirigi for the report. Now, the National Treasury has been called upon to allocate more resources to the judiciary and allow more cases for justice. Speaking during the launch of Judiciary Performance and Management, that is Management Understandings Evaluation Report in Nairobi, Chief Justice Martha Koome said that this will improve judicial effectiveness in handling cases. However, the issue of inadequate judges and funding, the Judicial Service Commission has resorted to using technology through virtual courts and registries and also monitoring of caseloads and case backlogs, which has yielded significant achievements in the recent past.
In this regard, we have taken deliberate steps to enhance access to justice, which includes opening more courts to enhance access to justice. This will please the members of Parliament to hear that we are establishing High Court stations in 46 out of 47 counties. We are also operating 138 magistrates' courts in the country. We are increasing mobile courts, circuits courts, and establishing 38 small claims courts and 12 gender justice courts, and also leveraging ICT to enhance efficiency, encompassing virtual courts, e-filing, case tracking, and transcription services. Other efforts towards improving judicial effectiveness in handling cases including court capacity by recruiting more judges, judicial officers and staff.
Our courts have demonstrated commendable performance on key performance indicators, which has led to enhanced access to justice in the timely resolution of cases. Moreover, initiatives aimed at judicial capacity building and fostering of stakeholder engagement have translated our pursuit towards judicial excellence into a reality.
Moving to West Pokot County, the county governor Simon Kachapin has called on the county residents not to be used by his opponent leaders, saying that referring to them as or rather his opponents, to paralyze operations in the devolved units, while referring to the newly established Sebit cement factory, which was officially launched by President William Ruto. Governor Simon Kachapin noted that baseless politics may push away investors who choose West Pokot County, despite cases of insecurity that have bedeviled the North Rift region for a while now.
Tunajua West Pokot kwa muda mrefu tumekuwa na negative publicity. Kwa hivyo investor kuwa na confidence ya kuja kuinvest katika kaunti hii ni jambo ambalo kila mtu anatakana afurahie. Kwa hivyo mimi nataka nitoe wito kwa wale wote wanaongea mbaya, wafikirie sana, kwa sababu kaunti nyingi katika sehemu ya Kenya hii wamekuwa na investors, wamekuwa na industries mingi, na ilikuwa ni ombi la watu ya West Pokot na hasa sehemu ile ya Sebit na Ortum, na walikaribisha investor huyo kwa mikono miwili. Kama kuna matatizo, sisi viongozi na stakeholders wengine tutakaa chini na investor yote kama kuna issues na tuna tatua, lakini ile njia ya kwenda kutatiza ni njia ambaye mimi kama gavana siwezi kuunga mkono hata kidogo.
Now, the Law Society of Kenya LSK President Faith Odhiambo has urged the Kenyan youth to engage in purposeful digital activism, emphasizing the importance of integrity and the potential for positive change through digital platforms. The appeal comes in the wake of recent events that have seen a surge in anti-government protests, which have unfortunately been marred by instances of police brutality. And as Gloria Musimbi reports, the LSK president has vowed to ensure prosecution of all persons, including police officers found guilty of human rights violation in the policing of peaceful demonstrations.
In efforts to keep the government accountable, Law Society of Kenya LSK President Faith Odhiambo has urged Kenyan youths to engage with purpose, act with integrity and drive positive change through digital activism. Speaking during a Citizens Assembly Forum in Nairobi, the Law Society of Kenya LSK President further emphasized the importance of integrity and the potential for positive change through digital platforms.
We must adopt digital activism as a formal method of public participation. This will guarantee that Kenyans have a direct say to the management and future of our country by integrating digital platforms into our civic processes. We can drive a more inclusive and participatory democracy where every Kenyan, regardless of their age, gender, religion, or location, can contribute to the national decision-making process.
This coming in the wake of youth-led peaceful protests that began on social media that rocked the country, leading to notable changes in the country's governance. Despite their positives, the downside of the anti-government protests saw police mete out brutality to the peaceful, unarmed protesters, widespread cases of arbitrary abductions and deaths, as well as massive arrests, acts that the LSK president strongly condemned. While expressing LSK's commitment to advocate for victims of police brutality, the LSK president Faith Odhiambo noted that digital activism played a key role in pushing for the release of protesters who were missing or abducted and arrested illegally.
Through coordinated online efforts, we saw how digital platforms played a central role in locating many of the abducted protesters. The pressure mounted by relentless social media campaigns forced the abductors to release some of those captives. The matter of issue now is that this act of solidarity and persistent online clamor not only saved lives, but also highlighted the effectiveness of digital activism in addressing urgent human rights issues.
On his part, musician turned activist Samuel Mako has asserted that as youths they will not relent until victims of police brutality get justice and corrupt officials are held accountable for their actions.
For the sake of the sanctity of their lives, of the comrades we lost, for the sake of the families they left behind, for the sake of the dreams and the brains that were splattered on Parliament Road, we cannot afford to get tired. It is okay to take some rest, but for the sake of the comrades who've gone before us, let us not tire.
In the recent weeks, Kenyan police have faced criticism on how it handled the recent protests by the Gen Z youth who have been holding demonstrations demanding accountability in the current Kenya Kwanza regime. Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Gloria Musimbi.
Now, Hope FM has launched a new frequency in Wajir in a bid to expand its reach. The frequency 96.3 FM added to the over 10 frequencies the station uses to reach out to millions across Kenya. Hope Media was hosted by the African Inland Church, KG Wajir, led by Reverend Stephen Njehia, Kenya Methodist Church under the leadership of Reverend Naman Munywa and Reverend Fregastus Mutiwa of AIC Wajir. In partnership with World Server, Hope FM, courtesy of Friends of Hope, distributed sanitary pads to 250 girls in AIC Wajir Academy, MCK Community School and St. Joseph's Tumaini Academy. The head of media, Didmas Makanda, has noted that the launch is a great win for the county residents as Hope FM seeks to reach many and enrich their spiritual life. Makanda has also called on different stakeholders to join hands with Hope Media in spreading hope to many across Kenya.
Tumekutana na wanafunzi na walimu wa shule hii. Kwa hakika ni furaha kubwa kwamba leo tutaweza kushirikiana na wasichana wetu wa shule hii ili kwamba pia wajihisi kama wasichana wengine wanapokuja shuleni wakuwe na tumaini, wakuwe na confidence, na haya yote yamewezekana kwa sababu ya marafiki wa Hope, tunawaita Friends of Hope, ambao wanadhamini station ya Hope FM, Hope Media and Hope TV, ambao wamezidi tudhamini kuhakikisha kwamba tunaenda hewani, tunaleta injili ya Yesu Kristo kamuji kama huu.
Ujio wenu umekuwa wa msaada mkubwa kwetu na tunawakaribisha tena na tena. Ni kwa ajili ya kushirikiana kufanya kazi ya Mungu sehemu hii, kwa ajili ya kuweza kusaidia jamii. Msichana ana mahitaji mengi na pia wazazi pia wana mahitaji mengi, ambao wengi kule mashinani wana njaa, wanahitaji kupata msaada wa chakula na mambo mengine kama maji. Tunahitaji msaada wenu tukaweze kutembea pamoja.
We say many thanks to Friends of Hope for making it possible for us to be in Wajir at 96.3 FM. Well, that story takes us to a short commercial break. We shall be right back with many more.
Hello there, praise the name of the Lord. My name is Evelyn Wanjiro. To get Naiwe Maombi as your skiza tune, SMS skiza 8830022 to 811. Hope Skiza, spreading the hope.
Join Sylvester Opoaki this Sunday for a moment of worship. on Ultimate Worship from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. and a repeat from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Among thousands and thousands, my beloved is the most beautiful.
Hope TV, look and live.
Come back. In a bid to create awareness and end human trafficking in Kenya, the Heart Kenya, a non-governmental organization, has held a human trafficking awareness event in their offices right here in the capital. The event, which showcased diverse artistic expression aimed at educating, raising awareness, and inspiring action against human and child trafficking by emphasizing the critical importance of protecting every child's future. Nelius Wanjiru with the report.
Every 30th July, the world commemorates World Day Against Human Trafficking, with this year's theme being Leave No Child Behind in Fight Against Human Trafficking. Heart Kenya, a non-government organization which advocates for human protection against human trafficking, has commemorated this day earlier. In an event that brought together various stakeholders, advocates, and survivors for human protection, the Chief Executive Officer for Heart Kenya, Dr. Radoslo Maloski, has explained the realities of human trafficking, focusing more on child trafficking, adding that this is not just a one-day event. He also urges parents and caregivers to protect their children under the cost and never relent on reporting the traffickers and hijackers too.
We especially focusing on children. Why? Obviously, children are the most vulnerable among the victims. But then also, because of the number, I don't even know, 1 in every 3 victims is actually a child, 30% and more. And this number is growing. In the past, we used to say that those who are becoming victims of human trafficking are girls. Nowadays, we recognize more and more boys who are also victims of this crime. Indeed, human traffickers, those who deal with selling people, they also find ways to make money regardless of your gender, sex, identity, race, and ethnic association.
Purity Mbogo, a human trafficking survivor advocate, has elaborated her experience with human trafficking, noting that she was tricked by her former employer to report to work, and later she only found herself in a different country. Purity is now urging everyone to be extra vigilant when it comes to everyone, including their friends, bosses, and even strangers.
The pay was good. I was supposed to go for a teaching work, so I got excited and I got in the trap. So later on, I went and I went training, and in the training, that's when I knew I was supposed to go to Saudi Arabia. And the moment you start the process of the training and everything, you are given an agreement to sign. If you fail to adhere to the rules, you are going to pay every cent that you have spent during the trainings, taking of passports, medicals. And the amount was too much for me, so I did not. I had to adhere whatever he told me. So I took the opportunity and I went to Saudi Arabia. That's when I got trafficked to Saudi Arabia. I went through a lot of hardship there, and thanks be to God, I was able to come back.
And with the rise in young people trafficking, the youth have been urged to scrutinize every opportunity that comes their way in form of employment deal. More from foreign countries, noting that this will play a key role in human trafficking prevention.
As part of survivor engagement, in one of the programs under Alliance 8.7, where we are, our country, Kenya, has shown the interest to become a pathfinder country. We engaged survivors to be able to come up with recommendations on what they think the government should do in fighting human trafficking. And this is to ensure that the survivor's voice is within the roadmap of the country as the country works towards becoming a pathfinder country towards fighting.
And in case one needs to report a human trafficking cases, Heart Kenya have come up with a way of doing so by calling 0780 211113.
My name is Naomi. It started innocent. Now I feel naked.
Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch.
Was it really my own choice? I'm scared. Is this life?
My name is Nelias Wanjiru.
Now moving to Uasin Gishu County. A section of locals in Kipsomba Ward, Uasin Gishu County, have staged protests lamenting the poor state of their roads. The locals say most roads are impassable, especially during the rainy season, and they are now accusing the area member of parliament, David Kiplagat, for sidelining the area. The angry locals who planted banana stems on the roads claim they have incurred huge losses due to delays in transportation of their farm produce. Access to key services like health facilities has also been a great challenge. Let's listen in.
Imekuwa mbaya, haipitiki, wana bodaboda wanahangaika, mama mboga wanahangaika, ile hali wanatuambia ati sisi ni drop in an ocean huku upande ya Kipsomba Ward. Hiyo ndio swali ninauliza kiongozi wetu DK kama kiongozi wa national government. Tunaomba yeye awajibike mara moja, hatuna tafadhali, na hii ndio mwanzo ya maandamano. Mama yao tunatengeneza Monday. Ama na hivyo sasa.
Na tunauliza huyu mbunge wetu ako na shida gani? Asikuje kutuundia barabara. Barabara yenyewe ni mbaya sana, hata upande wa chini huko juzi ilikuja kwa rushwa, ni mbaya. Hata ukibeba mizigo unaanguka na pikipiki. Wamama wenye wanaenda maternity ni shida tupu.
Mheshimiwa, tuangalilie kwa hii barabara, kituundia tutashukuru sana.
Hii barabara tuliambiwa inaanza kuundwa na upande huu wa chini. Nangili. Baadaye imehamishwa ikapelekwa Ziwa. Tukiulizwa ni kwa nini, tunaambiwa mbunge wetu amesema hapa hakupewa kura, so ataanzia kura huko juu mali alipata kura zake. So tunauliza hapa, hizo kura alipewa ilikuwa ni mawe ama ilikuwa ni kitu gani ndio sisi tuhamishiwe barabara mpaka upande ule mwingine.
Away from that, the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, has held a critical regional ministerial meeting to enhance cooperation in combating transboundary pests. The initiative aims to establish a sustainable framework for mitigating the impact of these pests, building on the achievements of the World Bank-assisted Emergency Locust Response Project. Now, plant protection experts and policymakers from Kenya, Djibouti, Ethiopia, and Somalia converged to discuss strategies to refine coordination mechanisms, enhance technical expertise, and align policies and regulations, as Mumbi Waweru reports.
As you know, we are the region of agriculture. Agriculture contributes substantially to the economy of the region. We are largely dependent on rain-fed agriculture, but climate change is posing a lot of challenge in agricultural production.
The Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, has convened a meeting to highlight the significant impact of transboundary pests on agriculture, particularly affecting smallholder farmers and honey production. Moses Musigwa, the director for the Desert Locust Control Organization for Eastern Africa, explained that the East African Regional Organization that is focusing on promoting economic cooperation and food security will promote the use of environmentally friendly methods like biopesticides, which have minimal environmental impact compared to chemical controls. By focusing on early warning and early action, the initiative seeks to prevent pest outbreaks and reduce the need for chemical interventions. The devastating locust upsurge of 2019 to 2020 highlighted the urgent need for improved preparedness and response mechanisms across the region. After the upsurge, Kenya and other IGAD nations have stimulated their efforts by establishing committees and strategies to handle migratory pests more effectively.
The significance of this meeting today is that the three frontline countries, we have frontline countries and invasion countries. Frontline countries is where the breeding takes place of these migratory pests, especially desert locusts. So the three frontline countries came together to have collaboration and working together so that they can solve the problem, they can mitigate the effect of these migratory pests.
IGAD has emphasized the importance of data sharing and forecasting, with efforts to enhance institutional and individual capacities through advanced technologies such as drones, satellite data, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. These technologies will help predict pest movements more accurately, enabling timely interventions. The meeting also addressed the need for improved coordination among IGAD nations to ensure seamless data sharing and better alignment of pest control policies. IGAD officials stressed the link between food security and political stability, highlighting the necessity for coordinated regional efforts to ensure agricultural resilience.
I'm happy that the technical team have identified areas of collaboration, the program for the coming few years, how to implement the coordination required at the regional level by different entities. It's my humble request that the delegates from member states, excellencies, to critically scrutinize once again and endorse so that we move forward to financing and implementation.
Mumbi Waweru, Hope TV Newswatch.
Many thanks, Mumbi Waweru, for the report. Now on matters business. In a bid to achieve sustainability and build towards a greener future, Superior Homes Kenya has announced a plan to set aside 300 acres for agricultural purposes. The 300 acres are set to ecologically compensate for the other 300 that will be used for real estate development. This was announced during the launching of the company's first project that will be in Ruiru, Kiambu County, as the company celebrated 20 years of existence. Ian Githuku with more details.
Following the success of the 163-acre Green Park Estate, Superior Home Kenya have announced their expansion project as they celebrate 20 years anniversary. The project, said to be in Ruiru, Kiambu, will include a sustainability program that will see each acre used for housing development have another acre set aside for agricultural purposes.
In terms of size, it's 300 acres. So I can confidently say that it will be Kenya's largest residential master planned gated community. And we're very excited to be able to bring in a 300-acre development on our 20th birthday celebration. For us, if we're going to do something big and do something spectacular, we're going to do it when we turn 20.
Speaking during the launch of the event, Superior Homes Kenya CEO Shiv Arora said the initiative, dubbed Kanzi Springs, comes in to serve Kenyans looking to invest in a modern, secure and controlled community close to Nairobi City and one that is affordable.
For us, when we're looking at land acquisition, it's not always just about where the hype is, but really looking at where is infrastructure moving to? Where are people moving? What's the incomes that they are earning? What's the rate of uptake? What's the costs in that area? Are there access to amenities, schools, playgrounds, infrastructure, airport, highways, jobs? And what's the rate of uptake? What's the capital appreciation? What's the rental yield? And when we have that, we build out our models and then we go back and say, okay, now where do we want land based on all of these areas?
The expansion follows the recent spike in mortgages in Kenya, seeing that the country has now hit 30,000 mortgages since last year. Kiambu County, being home to some of the fastest growing satellite towns in the Nairobi metropolitan, was selected as a prime location for real estate development, as its location attracts investors due to its key infrastructural projects and connectivity.
There's always a temptation with a developer as things roll on to start to squeeze houses and make more money out of a smaller piece of land as you develop the project. But we stuck with the vision. So even Cluster 6, the last houses here, the space was still what it was 20 years ago when we designed this development. So any advice I would give developers is to stick with your vision and keep your clients happy, and that way you can continue to sell houses and grow the business.
For Hope TV Newswatch, my name is Ian.
Real estate company Hyssop Properties has celebrated 9 years in business and hailed its achievement in handing over 6,000 title deeds, turning plots into homes and creating employment opportunities. Through Hyssop Sacco, the company has also empowered young people to own land and property. Naftali Mwangi, Hyssop Properties CEO, discussed ways that the government can support private real estate companies and expressed gratitude for the government's affordable housing initiative, calling for collaboration with seasoned stakeholders. The farmers also highlighted significant challenges, including financial constraints and political hurdles in the sector.
Saiso Properties is a real estate company. We are 60% business in land, 20% we do apartments, and also we have another 20% that we do construction for our customers. We have a beautiful project called Turning Plots into Homes. And today we are happy. Thank you so much to everyone who came to be with us. It's big, it's auspicious, and it is happening at a time when our economy and there's noise and everything, and we are also going through what we call a political risk. But you know, as entrepreneurs, we keep moving and moving and moving. As we launch this office, the one thing I can say is thank you so much to my colleagues, all of the way. They are all here from Kisii, Nakuru, a huge base. Thank you so much to our customers. Thank you so much to our stakeholders. We have our stakeholders in the US. We have registered our business in Dallas, USA. We all know that the government is a business enabler. And so the government should actually provide what we call horizontal infrastructure. That is road, water, rail, and sewer. Then let the private sector do the rest of the work. So government always is an enabler, and we urge the government to do more. We thank God for devolution, because devolution has really created the horizontal infrastructure, but it can be done more. And then an ease on taxation to make sure that more money is coming from abroad. 60%, actually 65% of the money that comes from abroad, that is about $4 billion every year. 65% comes into real estate. One of the biggest challenges that we go through in this country, one of them is finance. We all know that financial institutions today lend more to government, and so they are not able to lend to the private sector. So we have gone through financing challenges. We have gone through a lot of political challenges. But I'll say this, the biggest cost of doing business in Kenya is trust.
Crossing the borders, former U.S. President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama have officially endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris to be the Democratic presidential nominee. The two called Kamala to make their endorsement official and ensure her of their support. In a statement on X, Obama said that Kamala will make a fantastic president, with Kamala noting that she looks forward to hitting the campaign trail with the Obamas. The endorsement comes few days after President Joe Biden announced that he will not be seeking re-election, but will rather support his Vice President Kamala Harris.
I can't have this phone call without saying to my girl Kamala, I am proud of you. This is going to be historic.
We called to say Michelle and I couldn't be prouder to endorse you and to do everything we can to get you through this election and into the Oval Office.
Oh my goodness. Michelle, Barack, this means so much to me. I am looking forward to doing this with the two of you, Doug and I both, and getting out there, being on the road. But most of all, I just want to tell you the words you have spoken and the friendship that you have given over all these years mean more than I can express. So thank you both. It means so much. And we're going to have some fun with this too, aren't we?
Now, top achievers in the 2023-2024 Football Kenya Federation Premier League season are set to be awarded tonight. A total of 8 categories, including Player of the Year, Goalkeeper of the Year, Golden Boot, whose winner is Gor Mahia, Coach of the Year award, among others. Gor Mahia won their 21st league title, while Tusker and Kenya Police were ranked in 2nd and 3rd positions, respectively. And the 33rd Paris Olympics Games opening ceremony is scheduled to take place tonight near the Seine River in the French capital. The Olympic ceremony will take place outside for the first time. The Paris 2024 Olympic Games were scheduled to be the first time a modern Summer Olympics will have an equal share of male and female athletic competing. Team Kenya, which consists of 81 athletes, will be competing in 6 disciplines, namely judo, fencing, swimming, rugby sevens men, women volleyball and athletics. Kenya is represented by a total of 54 athletes, 2 swimmers, 1 each in fencing and judo, as well as 12 each in volleyball and rugby sevens. We come to an end of tonight's Newswatch. My name is Sammy Adika and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Mureithi. Many thanks for choosing Hope TV. Good night.